Okay, so to continue the discussion about the basic UML as a design notion, once again, Miss Jonah Ripran. Take it away, Madam.
Thank you, Doc. So to continue my report, I'll be reporting basic UML as a design notion in advanced system design and implementation. This is the outline of my report. I'll be covering overview, building blocks of UML, UML basic notation, standard UML diagrams, and references. So to start with, let's define UML. It stands for Unified Modeling Language. This is the standard language for specifying, visualizing, constructing, and documenting the artifacts of software systems. It created by the Object Management Group, and UML 1.0 specification draft was proposed to the OMG in January 1997. Pictorial language used to make software blueprints, and this is different from other common programming languages such as C++, Java, COBOL, etc. So UML is not a programming language, but it is a tool that can be used to generate code in various languages using UML diagrams. And also, UML can be described as a way to visually present the architecture, design, and implementation of complex software systems. Although UML is generally used to model software system, it is not limited with this boundary. It also used to model non-software system as well. So there are a number of goals of UML. Some general purpose modeling language, which all modelers can use, and it also needs to be made simple to understand and use. This is the most important, to define some general purpose modeling language. And second, system can be a software or non-software system. Thus, it must be clear that UML is not a development method, rather than it accompanies with processes to make it a successful system. So UML diagrams are not only made for developers, but also for business users, common people, and anybody interested to understand the system. So to conclude, the goal of UML can be defined as a simple modeling mechanism to model all possible practical systems in today's complex environment. This is the areas where UML is effectively used: enterprise information systems, banking and financial services, telecommunications, transportation, defense, electronics, science, and research. So as UML describes the real-time system, it is very important to make a conceptual model and then proceed gradually. So conceptual model of the UML can be defined as a model which is made of concepts and their relationships. First step, before drawing a UML diagram, it helps to understand entities in the real world and how they interact with each other. The conceptual model of UML can be mastered by learning the following three major elements: UML building blocks, rules to connect the building blocks, and common mechanisms of UML. UML can be described as the successor of object-oriented analysis and design. An object contains both data and methods that control the data. The data represents the state of the object. The class describes an object, and they also form a hierarchy to model the real-world system. The hierarchy is represented as inheritance, and the classes can also be associated in different ways as per the requirement. So I'll be discussing the building blocks of UML. They can be defined as themes, relationships, and diagrams. First, themes are the most important building blocks of UML, and themes can be divided into different types: structural, behavioral, grouping, and annotational. So structural things define the static part of the model. They represent the physical and conceptual elements. So the following are the brief descriptions of the structural things. Under things. First, class. It represents a set of objects having similar responsibilities. Then interface. This is the building block of interface. Defines a set of operations which specify the responsibility of a class. And then collaboration, this is the symbol. Collaboration defines an interaction between elements. In use case, it represents a set of actions performed by a system for a specific goal. Then component, this describes the physical part of a system. And then node, a node can be defined as a physical element that exists at runtime. So another type of thing is behavioral things. It consists of the dynamic parts of UML model. So the following are the behavioral things. First is the interaction. It is defined as a behavior that consists of a group of message exchanged among elements to accomplish a specific task. State machine. It is useful when the state of an object in its life cycle is important. It defines the sequence of states an object goes through in response to events. Events are external factors responsible for state change. So another type of thing is grouping things. This can be defined as a mechanism to group elements of a UML model together. There's only one grouping thing available, which is the package. So another type of thing is annotational things. This can be defined as a mechanism to capture remarks, descriptions, and comments of UML model elements. One type is note. It is the only one annotational thing available. A note is used to render comments, constraints, etc. of an UML element. So another type is relationship. Relationship is another most important building blocks of UML. It shows how the elements are associated with each other, and this association describes the functionality of an application. There are 4 kinds of relationships available: dependency, association, generalization, and realization. Dependency is a relationship between 2 things in which change in one element also affects the other. Association, basically a set of links that connects the elements of a UML model. It also describes how many objects are taking part in that relationship. Then generalization, this can be defined as a relationship which connects a specialized element with a generalized element. It basically describes the inheritance relationship in the world of objects. And then last, realization, this can be defined as a relationship in which 2 elements are connected. One element describes some responsibility which is not implemented, and the other one implements them. This relationship exists in case of interfaces. Another building blocks of UML is diagrams or UML diagrams. And I have a detailed information at the last part of my report for these UML diagrams. So UML diagrams are the ultimate output of the entire discussion. All the elements, relationships are used to make a complete UML diagram, and the diagram represents a system. The visual effect of the UML diagram is the most important part of the entire process. All the other elements are used to make it complete. So, as discussed previously, UML is for visualizing, specifying, constructing, and documenting the components of software and non-software systems. Hence, the visualization is the most important part which needs to be understood and remembered. Now, we have to understand the building blocks of UML. We'll go now getting to know the UML basic notations. Notations mean a series or system of written symbols used to represent elements of a system model. So UML notations are the most important elements in modeling. Efficient and appropriate use of notations is very important for making a complete and meaningful model. Hence, learning notation should be emphasized from the very beginning. Different notations are available for things and relationships. UML diagrams are made using the notations of things and relationships. Extensibility is another important feature which makes UML more powerful and flexible. So let's apply the building blocks of UML to conceptualize a model. As discussed previously, Structural model represents the physical and conceptual elements. So structural things, these are the graphical notations used in structural things are most widely used in UML. These are considered as nouns of UML models. These are the list of structural things. So first is the class notation. UML class is represented by the following figure. The diagram is divided into 4 parts. The top section is used to name the class. The second one is used to show the attributes of the class. Then third is used to describe the operations performed by the class. And the fourth section is optional to show any additional components. Classes are used to represent objects, and objects can be anything having properties and responsibilities. So an object is an entity which is used to describe the behavior and functions of a system. The class and object have the same notations. The only difference is that an object name is always underlined in UML. The object is represented in the same way as the class. An object is an actual implementation of a class which is known as the instance of a class. Hence, it is the same usage as the class. Then another list is interface notation. This is represented by a circle as shown in the following figure. It has a name which is generally written below the circle. It is used to describe the functionality without implementation. And also it is a template where you define different functions, not the implementation. When a class implements the interface, it also implements the functionality as per requirement. Then another one is collaboration notation. It is represented by a dotted ellipse as shown in the figure. It has a name written inside the ellipse. It represents responsibilities. Generally, responsibilities are in a group. Then use case notation, it is represented as an ellipse with a name inside it. It may contain additional responsibilities used to capture high-level functionalities of a system. Then another one is actor notation. An actor can be defined as some internal or external entity that interacts with the system. An actor is used in a use case diagram to describe the internal or external entities. Initial state notation, defined to show the start of a process. This notation is used in almost all diagrams. The usage of initial state notation is to show the starting point of a process. Then final state notation, it is used to show the end of a process. This notation is also used in almost all diagrams to describe the end. The usage of final state notation is to show the termination point of a process. Then another one is active class notation. Active class looks similar to a class with a solid border. Active class is generally used to describe the concurrent behavior of a system. Active class is also used to present a concurrency in a system. Then component notation. A component in UML is shown in the figure with a name inside. Additional elements can be added wherever required. Component is used to represent any part of a system for which UML diagrams are made. And then last, node notation. A node in UML is represented by a square box as shown in the figure with a name. A node represents the physical component of the system. It is also used to represent the physical part of a system such as the server, network, and other hardware devices. Then another type of UML basic notation is behavioral things. Dynamic parts are one of the most important elements in UML. UML has a set of powerful features to represent the dynamic part of software and non-software system. These features include interactions and state machines. Interactions can be of two types: sequential, represented by sequence diagram, and collaborative, represented by collaboration diagram. Interaction notation. Interaction is basically a message exchange between two UML components. The following diagram represents different notations used in an interaction. Interaction is used to represent the communication among the components of a system. While for the state machine notation, it describes the different states of a component and its life cycle. The notations are described in the diagram. Used to describe different states of a state or a system component. The state can be active, idle, or any other depending upon the situation. So another type of UML basic notation is groupings. Organizing the UML models is one of the most important aspects of the design. In UML, there is only one element available for grouping, and that is package. Package is used to wrap the components of a system. Then last type of UML basic notations is annotational things. In any diagram, explanation of different elements and their functionalities are very important. Hence, UML has notes notation to support this requirement. And type of this is note notation. These notations are used to provide necessary information of a system. Another type of UML basic notation is relationships. A model is not complete unless the relationships between elements are described properly. The relationship gives a proper meaning to a UML model. So there are different types of relationships available in UML. So relationships is a model is not complete unless the relationships between elements. So dependency notation, it is used to represent the dependency between two elements of a system. It is represented by a dotted arrow. The arrowhead represents the independent element and the other end represents the dependent element. Association notation, it describes how many elements are taking part in an interaction in a UML diagram. It is represented by a dotted line without arrows on both sides. The two ends represent two associated elements. Another is generalization notation. It describes the inheritance relationship of the object-oriented world. It is a parent and child relationship, represented by an arrow with a hollow arrowhead as shown in the figure. One end represents the parent element and the other end represents the child element. And then extensibility notation, they are used to enhance the power of the language. It is basically additional elements used to represent some extra behavior of the system. These extra behaviors are not covered by the standard available notations. So I'll be proceeding with the UML standard diagrams. So UML has many diagrams which are divided into categories such as structure classes. Okay, so UML class diagram, the most common diagrams used in UML, it consists of classes, interfaces, associations, and collaboration. Basically, it represents the object-oriented view of a system, which is static in nature. UML object diagram, so an instance of class diagram, thus these diagrams are more close to real-life scenarios where we implement a system. The usage of object diagrams is similar to a class diagram, but they are used to build prototype of a system from a practical perspective. Then UML component diagram, this represents a set of components and the relationships. These components consist of classes, interfaces, and collaboration. And it represents the implementation view of a system or visualize the implementation. Then UML deployment diagram, set of nodes and their relationships. These nodes are physical entities where the components are deployed. This is used for visualizing the deployment view of a system. This is generally used by the deployment team. Another type of diagram is UML use case diagram. Set of use cases, actors, and their relationships. They represent the use case view of a system. It describes the relationships among the functionalities and their internal external controllers. These controllers are known as actors. It uses use case notation and actor notation. Then another type of diagram is UML sequence diagram. It is an interaction diagram. From the name, it is clear that the diagram deals with some sequences, which are the sequence of messages flowing from one object to another. It is used to visualize the sequence of. So another UML diagram is etc. It is UML activity diagram. This describes the flow of control in a system. It consists of activities and links. The flow can be sequential, concurrent, or branch. It is used to visualize the flow of controls in a system. This is prepared to have an idea of how the system will work when executed. So this is the reference where I got my report.
Okay, so don't skip your presentation. Of course, a UML is very important, no? Because UML can model just about any kind of computing system. So the system is modeled with a collection of diagrams. So each diagram represents some aspect of some part of the system. So you can choose how many diagrams you want to make and even the level of detail of the diagram. So the diagrams are really there to help you talk about your system with others. UML can help you in forward engineering and reverse engineering. Forward engineering in a sense of sketch out or design your system or before you code it. While the reverse engineering is generate pictures of existing code to help you better understand it. So we have the Fowler's three modes of using the UML. We have sketching, blueprinting, and programming. So when it comes to diagram type, so we have structured and behavior diagram. Okay, so I think that's it. And thank you, Madam John.